Today I'm going to build this tower. Stick around for the final product. Alright, so we're going to start by doing the base of the tower here. We're going to make it pretty tall to have a cool effect of these arches in here. And then between these, we're going to do these jungle fence gates. That'll make it so when we're standing a little bit farther away, it looks like these are kind of arched. Then we're going to put some wood in here for this sort of shadowy effect. I'm doing dark oak wood into mangrove wood into stripped spruce logs. Then at the bottom here, we're going to do some jungle fences. And these fences and gates at the top will definitely make our build feel a little bit more detailed. Top here, we're going to do jungle stairs and exposed copper blocks. Now we're just going to put in some of these fences and then top them off with these lightning rods. And that'll be a really cool spiky effect here on the base. And adding these small details like this is really what's going to give our builds more character. So here we're going to start with a layer of oak wood. This is going to be a little bit of a short layer, and then we're going to go into birch and then work our way all the way up to some snow. So that's going to be the oak layer right there. And that's our birch layer. Okay, so we're going to do this last layer here. This last one is going to be sandstone into quartz into snow. So obviously this is going to start to look pretty blocky. Our colors are very separated right now. So what we're going to do is do some detailing in these lower levels, and then we'll start to blend and melt all these different shades into each other and create a much more smooth gradient up to the top there. So now that we've done this gradient and colored in this whole thing, we're going to do some windows in here and give it some more life and detail. So that's actually going to be all for the windows. Pretty simple there. We've just added a little bit more of this sandstone dripping down to kind of blend this a little better. Now we're going to go up here and do this top bit of the tower. We're going to use snow layers to get some good detail in there. And then on the very top here, we're just going to do dark prismarine roof. So that's going to pretty much be it for the roof. But on top of that, I do want to put a flag up here. And I'm thinking we go yellow for the flag. So we're just going to go for this thin kind of arrowy shape here, and then we'll build out the colors on it. So that's going to be just about it for the tower itself. Now we're going to go down and do environmental elements. We're going to add a wave crashing in. It's a little bit of a stone shore down here. And then we're going to add a big tree growing right out of the building. So for this, we're going to use cyan and light blue stained glass, and then mixing a little bit of white in there. The base of the wave is going to be all wool, and we're going to have it kind of trailing up and out of this side and crashing up diagonally into our tower here. I want the wave to look very dynamic and pretty strong, so having these floating blocks is what's going to really sell that. The other thing to selling it being really dynamic is the shape of it overall and mixing in this white, because this white is going to be very reminiscent of bubbles and concentrated frothiness where the water is really crashing against the building, and that's exactly the effect that we want. So this is going to be our boulder here, our rocky shore formation, and I've given it this kind of fin that it almost ends up looking like a shark here, but I think that's pretty cool. Again, things like that are going to add a lot of character to this build. So then of course we have to add our little dock. Just adding all kinds of character all over this build. It's a word I kind of throw around a lot. When you add these things, you're begging questions on, you know, why is this stuff here and who comes here and what's the story behind this place. And that's adding a whole nother layer to your build, you know, because you have a cool looking place to begin with and a little bit of a story behind it. Okay, so now we're going to start on a tree that's going to be growing out of the building. So when we're building these branches, we want to build them out pretty far, but we don't want to go too much because we still have to do the leaves. And I'm gonna put these trapdoors in, kind of make it really look like it's growing out into the world. And now we're gonna go ahead and do our leaves, and we're gonna start with birch, then go to oak or any other standard color leaves, and then out to azalea. And that's gonna create a really cool gradient out from the middle where it gets brighter on the edge. And the shape of our leaves here is gonna be pretty flat. I want them to extend out a decent amount. Making the leaves flat like this is gonna make it a little bit more exotic and interesting, rather than if we just did a regular, more circular shape on the leaves. We want to hit the birch where it's darkest, so in the back, towards the center of the tree, and on the bottom. And then we'll leave the middle part, and most of it is going to be the oak leaves, and we'll highlight the edges and the tops of the leaves with azalea. From there, we're going to add in some jungle wood to the trunk, just to give it a little bit of variation and some highlight toward the top here. And for our final touch here, we're going to do a cool shading effect where we're going to kind of draw in the shadow of this tower boulder part and a little bit of the tree as a long shadow behind this, so that when we look at it from our angle, the sun is very obviously going to be shining on it and then leaving this kind of trailing shadow on the end. That'll also help us to add some interest on our really flat blue surface here. So that's going to pretty much wrap up our build here. We've used some pretty cool effects with the shadow and this wave and getting this gradient to look right. We've added a lot of character with this fin coming out and this tree, and our dock, of course, is going to add a little bit of a story. We've checked just about every box, and yeah, I think it looks really good. Alright, now that we're here, production on this video has been pretty rough. I don't have a lot of time to do it because I've been working a lot, but I still really enjoy making these, and seeing the end product and the montage that comes out of it at the end is just, I love it. It's awesome. So I want to keep doing these. Yeah, I don't know if I can keep up with doing them every week, maybe every 1.5 weeks or to 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait for everybody to see this one. Yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed it, a comment, see anything maybe I could do better, or any ideas that you might have. Always welcome to that. And of course, drop a subscribe, because there will be many more of these coming.